On the news at 7, Don advocates practical approach to revolutionizing agricultural sector. Ondo Nawaj stresses place of women for virile society on occasion of the International Widows' Day. DSS urges vigilance ahead Eid al-Kabir celebration. On the foreign scene, France summit ends with a call to reform global financial institutions. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7 on Osrc television. I am Oyewumi Ayinigbara. The maiden lecture of Faculty of Agriculture at Adekunle Ajasin University has been held in the Citadel of Learning in Akungba Akoko. The lecture, titled Sustainable Agricultural Transformation in the Face of Emerging Technology and Global Insecurity, is aimed at boosting agriculture and food security in the state and Nigeria at large. Joy Pius reports that the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu on Agric and Agribusiness Akin Olotu was among recipients of series of awards for their contributions to the development of agriculture in the state.
The inaugural lecture of the Faculty of Agriculture at Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, was attended by stakeholders and major players in the agricultural sector in Ondo State, as well as students of the faculty. In their welcome addresses, the chairman of the Faculty Lecture Committee, Professor Francis Bore, and the Dean of the Faculty, Professor Olubunmi Agbaje, stressed the importance of agriculture to the development of any country, adding that the inaugural lecture is aimed at presenting practical approach for the development of agriculture in the state.
This lecture is designed to evaluate Nigeria's quest to achieve food security through emerging technology against the backdrop of national insecurity. This is an initiative of the faculty to provide a veritable platform for players and stakeholders to galvanize forces and speak and interrogate ideas on burning issues.
When you deploy violence, rancor, caucusing, nepotism, party spirit in any organization, you will not get anywhere. In fact, Boko Haram philosophy does not fit into any educational institution. If we need to advance in life, if we need to advance in science, if we need to advance humanity, we need to be fair to all.
In his opening remarks, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Olugbenga Ige, represented by the Dean, Postgraduate School, Professor Benson Akinowonu, said the Citadel of Learning is ranked best in the country and will continue to sustain the position.
The kind of arrangement that the Faculty of Agri has put together today is part of, the efforts by the university to impart knowledge, to listen to others, to cross-fertilize ideas.
Speaking on the theme of the program, Sustainable Agricultural Transformation in the Face of Emerging Technology and Global Insecurity, the guest lecturer, Professor Taiwo Amos from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, advocated the use of technology to drive agricultural development in the face of insecurity.
We must transform agriculture from the rudimentary stage to a level where technology is the driving force.
The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Akeredolu on Agric and Agribusiness, Mr. Akin Olotu, was presented an award as Pillar of Agriculture and Agribusiness, while two others were conferred with the faculty's Quality Service Awards for their contributions to the sustainable food security in the state.
Let me start by saying the award is dedicated to the governor of Ondo State, Arákùnrin Olúwarótìmí Ọdúnayọ̀ Akérédolú, who found me worthy of being given this assignment in the state. Definitely, the award, I see it as a call to service.
The Faculty of Agriculture AAUA was established 10 years ago and has since proved its mettle in churning out graduates equipped with agricultural knowledge that could impact the state and the nation. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Over 50 widows have benefited from a program organized by the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists in Ondo State. The annual event was another opportunity for NAWAJ to reach out to the vulnerable, particularly widows. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi now reports.
Unlike in the past, when widows are seen as vulnerable due to culture and belief, these women are grateful for the love and care the society is showing towards them. Their gathering here is part of lined-up activities to celebrate this year's International Widows' Day by the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists in Ondo State. In a welcome address, the acting chairperson of NAWAJ, Mrs. Tola Gbadamoshi, who reeled off some of the achievements of NAWAJ, promised that the association will not rest on its horse in prioritizing the welfare of women and children.
It is our custom to ensure that we reach out to widows, especially in a day like this. We are here to ensure and to encourage you people that you all should try to be strong at all times. No matter what the situation is, we understand and we share your pain as well. That's why we have come here to ensure that a day like this comes up.
The special guest on the occasion, Mrs. Uluada Isioke, said the women must be strong and commended NAWAJ for efforts at standing up for them.
Please do not relent. Let us continue to support and provide needed support for every effort that will empower women so that they can stand on their own when the unexpected happens. So this is unexpected in their life.
The guest speaker, Mrs. Nnena Shotonwa, encouraged the widows to put aside grief and move on in life.
We have singles, we have married, and we have widows. So it's the marital status. We all just pray that we live longer with our spouse. But one day, we will one day. One day, we will one day. But my word of encouragement for every one of us here as widows is that we should hold on to God. God is the surest thing. He's the surest Lord that we can ever have.
Others also shared their experiences in order to encourage those going through tough times as a result of widowhood.
We didn't pray to lose our spouse. But as a widow, I want us to believe in ourselves, trust ourselves.
Items donated by NAWAJ to the widows include cash gifts, food items, among others. Every 23rd of June is set aside all over the world to celebrate widows and identify with their plights. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, as part of activities to commemorate this year's International Widows' Day, Doris Obi Media Foundation, in collaboration with Strong Tower Widows and Orphans Foundation, has empowered 150 widows in Ondo State. Convener of the initiative, Doris Olumoko, while speaking during the financial empowerment program, said the vision was birthed out of the need to encourage fellow widows. Omoniola Ongbeji reports that the event was held in Akure, the Ondo State capital.
Innovation and technology for gender equality is a theme for this year's International Widows' Day to highlight the role of innovative solutions and technological advancements in promoting gender equality. Encouraging the widows, founder of Doris Obi Media Foundation, also former chairperson, Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, Ondo State Chapter, Doris Olumoko, who said she shares in their pains, advised them to be resilient in pursuit of greatness and not let their situation be a stumbling block.
That's why I'm here to provide the empowerment for the widows give them the morals they need, motivate them. You are not less human. What has happened to you is just your marital status that has changed.
Others at the event, including the Special Advisor to Governor Akeredolu on Gender, Olamide Falana, Reverend Father Matthew Ologun, and founder of Strong Tower and Orphan Foundation, Etana Evers Ogbebo, also a partner, advised the widows not to think less of themselves.
To continue in what they do, in their resilience, in taking care of their children, taking care of themselves, contributing their own quota to society.
They should keep upholding their dignity, and they should not let anyone make them feel lesser a human being.
And they should also be positive in everything they do, especially when it comes to raising up their children. They should not give up hope. They should not give up. That is very important. They should not give up hope.
Folake Mason is a special guest of honor, and she spoke extensively on the theme Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. According to her, there are numerous opportunities on the internet that women can key into to improve themselves.
So there's a lot of benefits in technology, and we have talked to them, we have advised them to be more proactive, that they should not limit themselves. They should be there as men are being there. Men, male genders are being there. Let female gender too be there. Let's take decisions together.
Beneficiaries of the gesture also lauded the convener of the initiative, praying God to attend to her needs.
They teach us how we can manage ourselves. They let us know that we are not widowhood is not a barrier, but widowhood is a status that we could manage it, and we can become someone in life. This status.
The widows were also encouraged to always speak up when confronted with life's challenges, as Ondo State Government, through Agency Against Gender-Based Violence, Osrc GBV, International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, alongside other humanitarian groups, are waging war against widows' humiliation. Omoriola Mbiji, Osrc News.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, has met with members of the police management team at the force headquarters, Abuja. Addressing the senior officers, Egbetokun stressed on the police proactivity to prevent criminal activities in the country. The Inspector General also promised improved welfare for police officers while reiterating his commitment to improve interagency collaboration between the police and other security agencies. Those present at the IG conference are senior police officers from the ranks of Deputy Inspector General of Police, Assistant Inspector General of Police, and Commissioners of Police, amongst others. Meanwhile, the immediate past Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, says the Boko Haram insurgency was at its peak when he assumed office in 2021, but he is leaving it better than he met it. Speaking at the handover ceremony at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Yahya, who led the Nigerian Army for 2 years, urged the Army to sustain the ongoing gains over various security threats, including terrorists and bandits and crude oil thieves, and not to be distracted by unpatriotic elements. The new Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tarid Abiodun Lagbaja, stated that the Army has witnessed an unprecedented prudent management of resources and procurement of military hardware under its predecessor, and promised to improve on the legacy of its predecessors. In attendance are senior military officers and heads of various departments within the Army. Lagbaja is the 23rd Chief of Army Staff. In the meantime, the Department of State Services DSS has called for vigilance ahead of the Eid al-Kabir celebrations, saying that reports indicated plans to attack worship and recreational centers before and during the festivities. A statement by its spokesperson, Peter Afonaya, also advised operators and patrons of public places, including markets and malls, to be watchful and report any suspicious movement and persons to the relevant security agencies. The service said it will continue to partner with sister agencies for necessary proactive drills to frustrate criminals and their activities. You are still watching Osrc News at 7 after the break. France summit ends with a call to reform global financial institutions. Please to join us then.
Abwad Multi-System Hospital at Duekiti, best equipped hospital in sub-Saharan Africa, offers the following services at the main hospital and the annexes at Bashuri and Oduado in Aduekiti. Free antenatal registration and consultation for all pregnant women. Free registration, consultation and immunization for children under 5 years. Other services at discounted rate include open heart surgeries, dialysis and kidney transplant, brain, spine and total joint replacement surgeries, correction of deformities, full range dental procedures, out and inpatient services, cutting edge MRI and CT scans. For further inquiries, call 081 601 60011, 080 601 86037. Announcer, Chief Medical Director.
Upward, a vision in action.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Coffee! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat you guy. We'll see about that.
It's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go.
And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Happy to be here, I'm blessed to be among. Happy to be here, I'm blessed to be among. To celebrate Ileya Salah in good health. Thank you, Allah, for keeping me alive.
I am happy to be here, I'm blessed to be among. Happy to be here, I'm blessed to be among. To celebrate Ileya Salah in good health. Thank you, Allah, for keeping me alive.
Down Nigeria,
but that is Allah.
I don't want some property.
Agron Homes.
Building cities, communities, and homes.
I wish you were here.
I'm always with you.
Get ready to encounter the incredible. And remember, no be juju, na MTN 5G.
Glad to have you back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. And now to the rest of the news. This month's sanitation exercise holds in Ondo State tomorrow. A statement by the General Manager, Ondo State Waste Management Authority, Mr. Adefola Omowole, said there will be restriction of human and vehicular movement between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. and in observance of the World Olympics Day run of the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development. The statement said the sanitation exercise will not impede the movement of those participating in the work. The General Manager, Omowole, who implored residents of the state to actively participate in the exercise, said the authority is doing all it can to ensure Ondo State is hygienically safe for them. The Presidential Election Petitions Court has admitted certified copies of academic and work records of President Bola Tinubu tendered by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its candidate, Atiku Abubakar, in the February 25, 2023 presidential election. The documents include a BSc certificate from the Chicago State University, NYSC discharge certificate, and Mobile Nigeria Oil PSC certificates of service. The PDP had brought the document through their subordinate witness, Mike Enaoro Eba. It noted that the documents were purportedly obtained by Tinubu but bore the name Bola Adekunle Tinubu. Led in evidence by the lead counsel to PDP, Chris Uche, the witness also tendered forms EC13 and EC9 nomination forms and the letters written to the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC as attachment. Counsel to INEC Abubakar Mahmood Tinubu, Emmanuel Ukala and the APC Lateef Fagbemi all objected to the admissibility of the document. The witness also tendered academic records from Chicago University, a copy of the subpoena served on the Chicago University, the original academic records and degree certificates, original admission letter, original transcripts from Southwest College to the school Tinubu attended, given to Chicago University with the gender referred to as female. He also tendered a notarized judgment of USA for criminal forfeiture of assets of Tinubu and the cover note authorizing it. Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State is failed to appear before the Governorship Elections Petitions Tribunal. The tribunal had on Thursday ordered a substituted service of a subpoena on Mba through its lawyer following an application by counsel to the People's Redemption Party, PRP, Barrister Alex Amujiogo. However, when the case came up today, the PRP counsel told the tribunal that Mba did not honor the summons. However, the lead counsel to the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Barrister Anthony Ani, after the tribunal sitting said that the petitioner did not comply with the provisions of the law while serving the subpoena. He said the governor was ready to appear at the petitioners do the right thing. Meanwhile, the tribunal led by Justice K.M. Akono adjourned the case to June 24, 2023 for the first respondent, the Independent National Electoral Commission, to open its defense. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will hold a post-elections review for the just concluded 2023 polls from July 4 to August 5, 2023. The Commission's spokesman, Festus Okoye, said the review will commence with a meeting of the Resident Electoral Commissioners (RECs) and end with the Commission's retreat. According to the electoral umpire, the review will focus on all aspects of the electoral activities before, during, and after the elections. INEC said it will review the lessons from the general elections and chart a way forward, adding that review would involve the Commission's officials at national and state levels, as well as stakeholders with a view to learning lessons and charting the way forward. INEC stated that the state level that the internal review will involve the Commission's regular and ad hoc staff, including RECs, the 774 electoral officers, heads of departments, administrative secretaries, as well as some presiding officers and collation returning officers. INEC added that the internal or external engagements will involve critical stakeholders such as political parties, security agencies, election observers, the media, and service providers such as transporters that facilitated the movement of personnel and materials for the election. The Court of Appeal Abuja Division has reinstated the former Director General National Intelligence Agency (NIA) Mohammed Dauda. Delivering judgments, Justice Peter Ige said the evidence leading to the dismissal of Dauda was frivolous and lacking a merit and resolved all the contentious issues against NIA in favor of Dauda, who is a respondent in the suit. Justice Ige further ordered that his salaries and entitlements since the day of dismissal from office be paid. The appellate court also gave an order that a sum of 1 million naira be paid to Dauda, while he should be allowed to retire in service in accordance with the stipulated laws, adding that there was no evidence before the courts that shows that Dauda had constituted any risk or breach any law. Mr. Dauda had earlier acted as the head of the agency from November 2017 to January 2018, when he was replaced by former President Muhammadu Buhari. President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria is ready for business, urging foreign investors to take advantage of the opportunities and ongoing reforms in the country. The president told investors in Paris, France, that ongoing reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidy and unification of exchange rates, will be sustained for a more competitive economy that attracts foreign direct investment, FDI. The president, while receiving president and chairman of the board of directors of African Export-Import Bank, Afrimix, Professor Benedict Orama, and president of European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD, Odile Renaud Basso, in separate meetings on the sidelines of the Summit for New Global Financing Pact, assured the delegation of Afrix Bank executives that the federal government will continue to stimulate the economy with policies that support investment in areas of Nigeria's competitive advantage. The president of Afrix Bank commended Tinubu for the steps in the removing the fuel subsidy and unification of exchange rates, assuring the Nigerian leader of the full support of the financial and development institution on the ongoing reforms. Also, a global climate summit has wrapped up with a consensus that the international financial system was woefully inadequate in the era of global warming. While host country France pitched the conference as a consensus-building exercise, leaders were under pressure to produce clear outcomes from the two-day meeting as economies stagger under growing debt after a successive crisis in recent years. French President Emmanuel Macron aimed a complete consensus to reform global financial institutions and make them more efficient, fairer, and better suited to the world of today. Some 40 national leaders gathered in Paris, most from developing countries whose economies have been buffeted by a succession of crises in recent years, including COVID-19, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, soaring inflation, and ever more devastating extreme weather impacts. The U.S. Coast Guard says an underwater robot searching for a missile submersible has discovered a debris field near the wreck of the Titanic. The vessel, with 5 people on board, lost contact with a surface ship on Sunday in the North Atlantic during a dive to wreck. All of its passengers are presumed dead.
A lot of them got together and wrote a letter to OceanGate and said, you have to certify. You cannot take people down. It's irresponsible, and it could lead to catastrophe. Literally, the word catastrophe is in the letter. I never believed in that technology of wound carbon fiber, wound filament, cylindrical hull. I thought it was a horrible idea. We all knew that the danger was delamination and progressive failure over time with microscopic water ingress and fatigue, what they call cycling fatigue. And we knew that if the sub passed its pressure test, it wasn't going to fail on the first dive. It might fail on dive 7, or I don't know what they're at, but it's going to fail over time, which is insidious. You don't get that with steel or with titanium.
And now to sport. President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusau, says the Football House will seek the opinion of soccer-loving Nigerians before deciding the fate of Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro. Jose Peseiro's contract will expire at the end of this month. Gusau hinted that the NFF has not made any decision on Peseiro's future and will be seeking public opinions to take the next step. There are reports that the NFF will request Peseiro to take a pay cut to remain in charge of the Super Eagles. And with that sports story, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that as the World marked Widows' Day, Nigerian Association of Women Journalists have stressed the importance of women to strong rural society. The association, to mark this year's event, also donated gifts to 50 widows in Ondo State. Adan at the Adekunle Ajasin University Akungba Akoko has advocated practical approach for the development of the agricultural sector of Nigeria. The Department of State Services has called for vigilance ahead of the Eid al-Kabir celebration. And from the foreign scene, we told you that world leaders have risen from a global summit with a consensus to reform global financial institutions to arrest the impact of global warming, especially on developing countries. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.